important uh, thing which is working right now, and that is on-demand marketplace. So, by the way, we are here. We are still working from home actually, so you'll hear a bit of background noise. Pardon me for that. Um, for those who don't know me, I am Deep from Ibixo, and this is going to be a very interesting on-demand platform related live to answer all your queries, uh, to make sure that you guys get all the answers on how things work, what all the queries are there, how does the market work. We are going to cover a lot many things in this, including the details which are required to make sure that you get a successful platform, right? And when I say successful platform, that doesn't just focuses on the development, but you know it covers everything, including the facilities what you need, the pre-planning, how you want to plan the initial steps for the development, um, how you want to plan the documentation of an on-demand application, how you want to get the wireframes, the flow chart, the communication with the development team, the actual output, and each and everything. So this is going to cover all that thing in a single video. Uh, we don't usually go live, so I'm not sure how many people are going to join. But based on the requests from the Facebook groups, the LinkedIn groups, we have a couple of questions which we are going to cover to make sure that you get the right information, even if you're watching this after the live is completed, even if you're watching it at a later point of time. I'm sure this video is going to be a really, really important thing to make sure that you get all which are required. Okay, now there are a couple of things which I'm going to cover. Let me just uh, try to see that what is happening. And okay, there are 14 people who are watching us right now. In this video, slowly and gradually, I'm sure this is going to grow a little bit. Not expecting much here, because as I told you, like we usually don't get live. So let's start with some of the very, very, very basic things, right? I'm sure. Am I audible? Let me check the audio here on my own stream. Let me see if my audio is good. Okay, perfect. The audio is going good. Um, so the idea is to initiate an on-demand platform, regardless of any country you are in, regardless of any on-demand particular service you are planning, or regardless of how you are going to capture the users and what type of services you provide. Basically, for those who don't know, I'm sure there might be a couple of people who don't actually know that what on-demand marketplace is. Basically, on-demand application or an on-demand marketplace is a type of application wherein you cater user service on demand, right? The best, and I would say that the first known example is Uber. Uber is an on-demand taxi application, and there are so many other examples like Thumbtack, on-demand home service application, right? So there are so many other applications in the market. There are so many new ideas floating in the market, and these ideas are going to change and disrupt, or has already changed and disrupted the normal market. Sorry, this has changed how normal business work. It has changed the way how the business is working. And the best part of an on-demand application uh, is that you get to play around even in the smallest niche of market you want to play. It's not necessary that you cater a large market like Uber. That is not necessary. Even if you are just doing lawn mowing, a very small thing, but that is going to help, right? And that will have its own impact in the market, right? So let's talk about the things what we have uh, in the list right now. If you see the description of this video, there are a couple of points what um, the team have added. If not in the description, let me find out, because practically, like, this is something we go through every day, so it might be very very tricky to answer all of them, but let me try to see that what all the questions are there in the description or in the list what team have made. Um, and then, okay, very simple things first. There are, okay, on demand market worth in 2022. Okay, a very important question. On demand market in 2022 is going to be huge, right? Every year as the market grows, the on demand industry grows. Whether you are in Netherlands, whether you are in US, whether you are in UK, this is going to be the exact same scenario, at least for the next couple of years. And this is going to work on a very large scale. On demand marketplace, you talk about taxi has a good amount of competition, you know uh, so we can skip taxi for now until you are in a really small market. Let me go a little bit on this side because I'm getting this blur, I guess. uh, okay, so taxi is, of course, like, one of the largest market, but it's not mandatory that you continue going with taxi application, because that has been in the industry from so long, right? And there is a huge amount of competition. But overall, like you saw in 2020 2021, on-demand healthcare has grown at a very very huge level, right? So if you talk about any scenarios in which people are getting into the immediate business, and that was on-demand healthcare application, and that was due to the unfortunate opportunity of COVID, right? But there are so many things you need to see the situation in the industry you want to target. This cannot be generalized. The best and the worst part of an on-demand system is that it cannot be generalized, right? So you need to think of a scenario that what all the things can be done in the smaller market you want to target. And when I say smaller market, you can consider the whole country as a smaller market as well, right? So you need to pick up that what industry you want to target and see the scope of that based on the time, right? And slowly and gradually that is going to work. So I'm definitely pretty sure, based on the how the market is going, on demand in 2022 is going to be really really good uh, business. That is definitely for sure. Not just in 2022, based on the inquiries what we are getting, based on the type of requests we are getting, based on the futuristic ideas we are getting, I'm sure that is going to roll at a much larger time. Okay, I see one comment here. uh, and let me see it on my computer, so that I can answer that as well. All right. Okay. All right. Which would be a good start for India in an on-demand industry? Okay. Um, Okay, I'll come to that question. So based on the industry you want to focus, this is going to go long. Like based on the type of ideas what we are getting. Like, recently I was working with a client. We were discussing a project, and a very interesting idea that came, which was really futuristic. Like, due to the NDA, I can't share the details, but it is something which doesn't exist even in a regular world, right? Forget about converting a taxi business into an on-demand taxi business, right? That was a type of business that is not into service in the industry at all, and from that they are moving towards getting on demand from the very beginning. So they are getting into a complete new industry, focusing on an on-demand scale. That's it, right? So the beginning of the whole industry is getting on demand. So that is going to go along, and the plan of that idea was to launch in 2025, And that is not just one example. We have seen examples, with niche markets, like say for a situation on-demand healthcare, then so many particular on-demand healthcare things, very small industry to target and dominate that. So rather than getting into an on-demand taxi application and then struggling in that, versus getting into a very niche market and becoming a dominant player in that. So that is for sure. In 2022 or till 2025, on demand market is going to grow. That is definitely for sure. Okay, now we are picking up the questions from what you are getting in the comments. The first question which I got is, what what is a good idea to start? What would be a good start for India in on-demand market? See, countries like India, right, with such a huge population, with such a huge diversity, the things are going to be pretty easy and pretty complicated in a way, because you start anything, you start it in the right way, it's going to work, because you'll find a particular niche of people who are going to use that part of business, right? So if you say healthcare is going to grow in India for sure, because you'll find so many villages, so many rural areas wherein the healthcare system is not pretty good, at least at this point of time. And starting in healthcare application, on-demand healthcare application with telemedicine, can be a really good option to start, right? But you need to make sure that you focus a good amount on marketing, right? Because you need to reach to the rural area, and that is going to be the most difficult part. Development is not a difficult part. Like, people always consider that the development is going to be a difficult part. That's not going to be. There are companies like Ibixo, and not just Ibixo, there are so many companies who develop really good platforms, right? So that is not a point to worry about. What is a point to worry about is how you want to capture the market, how you want to conquer the market, how you want to get into the user generation, or how you bring more user on board, and how much money you can spend for a single user, right? So on-demand healthcare is going to work. There are so many local languages on-demand streaming platform which still doesn't exist in India. Not just India, in so many other countries. You'll find Disney Plus, Hotstar, you'll find the international players, but you'll not find a small industry targeting the niche of a particular language, right? We are based in Gujarat, India. In last 2 years, we just found a couple of on-demand video streaming platform just focusing on Gujarati language, and they're doing pretty good. So you are in any part of the world, you target a niche of a particular language, you have a good content, then on-demand video streaming or content application in a particular language is going to definitely work and dominate the market. There are two ideas. The third one, what I feel, is logistic. Logistic in so many parts of the world, it is still growing. Sorry. And that is going to be one of the largest capitalized market, and in the next coming years. That is for sure. In the next coming year, that is going to grow a huge level, right? Meanwhile, if you have any questions, if you have any queries, if you have any ideas to share, please share. Based on how this goes, we are going to get more things and more live streams related to this. Okay, now let's pick up another question and see. Then we are going to go towards the other questions. Okay, do I need technical knowledge to start an on-demand? And before that, how much money do I? Okay, this is the most commonly asked video. How much money is required to start an on-demand taxi application? And for that, we have a dedicated video. If you search on how much does it cost to develop a taxi application, Ibexo, you'll find that video on YouTube. But to give you a rough idea, any on-demand application, you plan it with a good level of, or not good, but like good basic features in Android and iOS for service provider, for customer, and web-based admin panel. You'll roughly play around 30 to 50,000 US dollars, right? So that is a rough idea, but Katie, the idea for you is to the answer for you dedicatedly to know the cost of a taxi application. You can search for how much does it cost to develop a taxi, or how much does it cost to develop an Uber clone, or how much does it cost to develop an app like Uber. I think so. You'll find a dedicated video. I'm going to make sure that in the comment section, I post that. And I ask the team to do that. I guess this might be much better. All right, perfect. That is it. Okay. Now let me see what else we have in the description. Okay, types of on-demand development you can choose. There are so many things you can plan. Like on-demand is everything: on-demand food delivery, on-demand taxi, on-demand medicine, on-demand beautician, your on-demand nail technician, on-demand on-demand. Take an example: computer repair, right? On-demand website, on-demand. So many things you can plan. And if I answer that, I'll think of all the ideas what I've got from by discussing it with my clients and how the things work. But particularly, you need to see the niche market you want to target, and you can plan the things accordingly, right? So you first need to find out that what niche market you want to target, and based on that, find a particular type of service which you can provide in that on demand, and make sure that you have enough service providers, because on demand industry doesn't works on customer. On demand industry works on the service provider. If you initially don't have customers, that is going to be absolutely fine, but you need to make sure that you have good amount of service provider, and that service provider is going to bring more customers on board. Right? So that is how the pull happens, the pull of the customers, the way you attract them. That is how it works. Okay, now taking another question on this tool. What is the best way to know? Okay, no, I saw that. I don't know. Like, okay. Do I need technical knowledge to start an on demand business application? No, you do not need technical knowledge to start an on demand application. The reason is that you will hire a company or a development team to develop the platform for you, right? So you particularly do not need a particular technical knowledge to develop the platform, right? So even if you don't have much of the knowledge, even if you don't come from a technical background, I don't think that that is a point to worry about. When you're hiring a good team of developers, you're hiring a good agency to develop that for you, you will not require technical knowledge. What you'll require particularly is the idea, the business flow of the application. Once you have the concrete business flow, you find the right agency to develop it, and that's it. You do not need an application, and you may you need to make sure that the planning is perfect, right? Because there are so many things that you will find a gap of communication between the customer and the the development companies, right? And most of the time the reason is the communication gap. So if you have a proper documentation, if you have the user journey, right, that what happens when the user comes, this, and once you have done that, the first thing you have to do is what happens if this doesn't work. Very small example: you need to provide a login facility for the customer. You choose to have a social login, you choose to have uh phone number login, email login. Now the next step is that what if this doesn't work? If you have the answers to all the what if this doesn't work, that is the perfect planning, not just for an on-demand application, any application you talk about. That is going to be important. The biggest mistake what I see, what I have seen in my career, is that people plan all the positives. Everything is positive. Okay, user will come, They'll get into the system, they'll search, they'll filter, they'll choose, they'll schedule a time, they'll make the payment, done. What if any of the step doesn't work? Take a worst case example. The user came into the system, they choose a particular user, service provider, they choose the time, they made the payment didn't work. What next? The user might not have the time to start the process once again. He'll leave the application. So what next? The answer should be that we'll have a customer care executive who is going to see this happening, and he's going to call to the customer that, okay, we saw that you are trying to book a carpenter, and but the payment failed. Do you want me to help you? So that is the thing you have to do. That is the part you have to play here, right? So technical knowledge is not required, but the perfect business flow, perfect user flow, you need to have it concrete, right? So that is how it's going to work. Okay, let me take the other question here. Oh, same thing. Ishwarya writes here that, is it necessary that I have a technical co-founder if I don't have a technical knowledge? No, 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 no. You do not particularly need to have a technical co-founder. Having a technical co-founder is going to help you, but that is not the biggest hurdle. As I told you, like, if you have the right flow written down, all the positive and negative aspects, and you have all the things sorted out, and you have found a reliable agency, that is going to be good enough, right? Oh, okay, let me see. I'm so sorry for this. I'm really sorry. Let me just confirm if there's something related to this. Okay, right. So that is how the things are going to work. So you don't need to have a technical co-founder, basically. If you have a perfect plan written, if you have the user's flow written, then you don't need a co-founder. Where it's going to help, a co-founder or a technical team member is going to help you when you want to manage little bit of development, when you have to manage little bit of things here and there, when you don't have the developers, or you don't want to um, pay to the developer, right? So that is how it's going to work. And yeah, okay, that is it for that. Now let's come to the next question. All right. What is the best way to get user attention when I'm starting a new application? The best way to get the user attention is to, initially, a simple answer would be to do Facebook and Google ads very initially, or else you come with an very very good idea on offline mode, on this newspaper or billboards to get the attention. But that is going to get the things done. But a good idea is where it's going to work. A good idea is how it's going to work. All right, okay, let me see what the next question is. But yeah, for user attention, make sure that if you're targeting in a really good niche, then the things would be much more easier, right? User attention on an on-demand application also depends on how many service providers you have. The more service provider, users are going to easily get diverted towards your application and the way it's going to work. All right, let's come to the next part. Uh, there's someone who has written text, and my answer is text. And okay, someone has asked, what about telemedicine or online appointment app for developed countries? So that online telemedicine application, online appointment booking application are both different things, and that has a good market, not just in US, everywhere else. If you talk about US, I understand that that's a very developed market. UK is a developed market, but still the competition is very less. You'll not find, um, if you calculate the online application users versus the number of application, the figures would be very large. So there is still a very good possibility that the users can be divided, uh, for a particular region or a particular type of doctors or a particular type of service or a particular type of facilities you are providing. So that is you know healthcare, as I told you, healthcare is going to work pretty long for the next couple of years. Um, the COVID was just a start. COVID was the peak, but I understand that. But COVID was just a start. It's still going to grow much, 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 much. So, by the way, you can see more information on our YouTube channel. You can visit our website, ibixo.com, I for India, B for Bombay, or BITA, I for India, exo.com. You can reach me on +91 99137 96777. That's my personal number. You can contact, for the regular sales inquiry. You can contact on +91 84601 84608. Both the numbers are on WhatsApp on direct call. Um, so you have any idea in mind, you are planning something, get in touch with us and we'll get the things rolling. We'll have our business analyst team to look into what the things you're getting and get the things started. Right? Okay. Need on-demand development. Okay. Now, what strategies you can adopt to develop an on-demand industry? Okay. This question, what strategies can be adopted? Strategies can be pretty simple. Start with an MVP. Right? That is the best suggestion I would give to anyone. Um, when you are starting an on-demand application, don't run after your competition or what all the things your competition is having. Try to start and get into the market and start getting more users. Right? You do not have to spend a lot of money in the development. That is the biggest problem. What we have been seeing, like people have a budget of $300,000, the total project budget, and out of which they're spending $250,000 just on the marketing, sorry, just on the development. The other 20, 30, 40,000 goes into the management expenses, and at the end of the day they don't have much money left for the marketing. And start an MVP. If the MVP is going good, move towards the next phase, get more features. And when you're dealing with the development team, work with a reliable member who can help you to get the more updates in the application pretty easily. Right? So that is the best idea. Okay, right now we are having 136 people who are watching us. Pretty good. I didn't expect this, honestly speaking. These are very promising numbers for me to get more live. Um, I'm sure we are going to get more lives very soon based on what all the things we will have in the market. Okay. Importantly, okay. Yeah, I guess that's it. So planning an on-demand application, make sure that you cover the basics. Okay, okay. Sanaya says, do you suggest any particular feature to add while planning an on-demand app in this for any sector? No, live tracking, or if it's a service-based system, live tracking is going to work. You need to make sure that you provide the facility which attracts the user to be on the board. Because consider this: when you're planning an on-demand system, in most of the cases, the system already exists, right? So on-demand, you know, lawn maker, on-demand electrician, or on-demand home services. People are already doing home services. People are already calling people and getting the things done. So to make them out of that, to make them to shift from that traditional system to your system, you need to make sure that you give something lucrative. Maybe something like quick services, like get a carpenter in 30 minutes, fix your plumbing problem in 45 minutes, like what Uber did, get a cab in 2 minutes, 5 minutes. So I guess that service part of an on-demand platform is going to be the best feature. Like, let's not talk about the technical feature. There cannot be a universal technical feature which can be used, but there can be a universal service sector, particularly in an on-demand industry, um, which is going to definitely work and get into the system. Okay, let me see if we have more comments. Yes. Uh, okay, Sanaya is done. Is it necessary to have technical co-founder? That has been answered. What is the best way to get users' attention when I'm starting? That is done. Okay, I have my pocket digital marketing. Thank you very much, Brian. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Okay, let me see if we have some more questions. Okay, if we are not having much questions, we'll conclude this. I have a couple of few things in my mind which we are going to cover, but that is going to be it. Okay, more than 150 people are watching this right now, and the biggest takeaway of my experience in the on-demand industry, we'll talk about what not to do, right? I guess that is how we can end this discussion. You'll find so many videos, so many content, um, which will say what to do. Let's talk about some of the biggest blunders or mistakes which I actually feel that needs to be taken care to save your hard-earned money. Okay, first one, so many people are not going to like this. Don't go with a ready-made script. I'm not doing this for my marketing. You get the things developed by ibix or not, absolutely fine. There's so many other companies. Most of the companies are dealing with custom development, right? So I'm not promoting ibixo here. You get it done with ibixo, perfectly fine. I'm going to love it, but not then nothing to worry about. Don't go with a ready-made script. You'll find dedicated video on, if you search about problems of ready-made script, or because there are so many frauds happening in when it comes to ready-made script. Someone selling on-demand taxi application in $500, $100, $2,000, $5,000, practically not possible. Don't go with that. I don't know the exact title, but in the ibixos channel, you'll find probably that is the top video. Um, the problems with ready-made script. That is the biggest takeaway. Second thing, okay, before you ask the reason, you have to see the video, but overall, it's not possible to make money for a development company to deliver a good platform at that cost. And if they're providing you, either the code is bad, either they're stealing your data, or there is some other play around which you don't want to earn, which they don't want to share it with you. So don't do it. Second thing, when you're getting the development done, make sure that you don't take the code on on a Gmail, right? Or on a Google Drive. You make sure that you get the code on your Git, on any of the code repositories, right? I was wondering, like, how I can't pronounce this good. The code repositories, yeah, perfectly fine. So, GitLab, Bitbucket, you use anything so that you can structure the code in the right way. That is really important for you to make sure that even if you're not working with that particular development company, you don't want to lose a track of the code. Use any good code repository, and so that when you're switching the developers or the company is switching the developer, right? It's a very very normal scenario. You hired a company to develop the application. There are 5 employees of that company who are working on that particular application, and someone might leave the company and move towards the other company. Very realistic scenario, right? How good the company talks about that, no, we are having this developer for 10 years. He can leave after 10 years. So if your code is well structured on an code repository, that is going to help you. Make sure that you get the code which is commented, right? So that the other developers understand that, right? Okay, next thing. You don't want to get into quick development. You don't want to do that. Trust me. If someone is promising you that someone can develop an on-demand application within a month of time, that's practically not possible. What they're going to do is going to buy a ready-made script, or they're having some other domain where they're selling ready-made script, and on one domain they're selling custom development. right? So they are going to use the same ready-made script, change it, make it based on your requirement. You don't want to do that. The best will be that you buy a ready-made script, right? So you don't. This is the biggest problem when it comes to quality compromise, and I understand the problems of the development team as well, because when the client is offering an $50,000 of project, and he forces that, okay, I want this in 40 days of time, and when that is practically not possible, it's going to be really difficult for the developers to deny that. They are going to start it saying that, okay, let's start, then we see how it goes. Or if they complete the development, the is good. Without a good product, you can't. I'm sure that is where you have to play around with the plan, that you do half development, start an MVP. That is the best way. Rather than getting the whole plate, start with the starter, or start with the soup, then the starter, then slowly main course, then the dessert, and in that way you complete the whole development. Right? Plan it in plans. The next thing is, don't spend all your money in development. Only spend 50% of your money. If your total project budget is 200,000, don't spend more than 1,000, 100,000 on development. You at least need half the money in the marketing, right? So make sure that you balance the money. A good product is absolutely needed, but a good product without marketing, that's not going to work. Get the users on board, and initially you will need the users, right? Okay, yeah, I guess that is it for today. Let me see. Very solutions, but the custom development are quite costly. What can be the best solution? Okay, Vidhi. The best solution is to start with an MVP, right? The most important thing, it's practically not, even in $500 it's not possible to get the designs done. And assuming, that you talk about a regular developer in India as well, right? uh, how can you manage that money or a good development in that cost? So the best ideas would be to start with an MVP. You get custom development done, you get your MVP started in, the least budget you can afford, and get users. Once you are having users, you slowly spend your money wisely, and develop the things slowly and gradually, adding. Even Facebook was not developed the way it is right now, right? If you see Facebook, how it was been launched, it was not actually really good, but the idea was good, and based on that they build on the idea. So if you're having a small budget, don't stop the plan. Start something, but you can't get everything in that money, right? So try to get the things in that direction. Okay, let me see if there is any other thing. So see you very soon in the next video. Probably next week. We don't have any plans right now, but based on how Niyati and Parita suggested, we just got live. But this went really good than expected. So let's see how the things goes, and we are going to get another live very soon. You can request. You want a live session, maybe by me or any of our team member from the development team, from the analyst team, um, post it in the comment. I'm going to make sure that I gather some things, sit down with the team, and going to prepare really good content for you. Signing off for now. Deep from Ibixo. It was fun. Thank you everyone for joining, and for all your queries and questions. Bye bye. Bye bye.